Yeah, it's fine, and I don't think HOD or anybody may come. Just keep a check for the director. HOD will not come, that's confirmed. So other than that, just a quick wrap up. After Ankush finishes off, just a quick wrap up. And I hope a couple of students do ask because uh, he's a good speaker as well. He has been earlier as well. I just hope.
Sure, sir. I'll spread that message in the class.
Hello, sir. We are waiting for a few more participants to join. We'll start in next 2 minutes.
Sure.
Palak, we may begin now.
Sure, sir. Good morning, everyone. I, Palak Bansal, on behalf of Department of Management, BITS Pilani, welcomes all of you to the session. It's a great pleasure to introduce our speaker today, a distinguished expert, Mr. Ankush Bagotra, currently serving as product leader at Meta to build remote experiences for AR, VR in Metaverse, and CEO, President, and board member, BITSAA Silicon Valley chapter. He has done his BE Computer Science from BITS Pilani and Executive MBA from UCLA Anderson School of Management. He is customer-focused professional with 17 years of technology and management experience in development of large-scale enterprise-grade global products and have strong experience in building data-driven customer products methodologies with machine learning and AI to improve customer debug productivity and innovation. We welcome you, sir. Topic for the
Uh,
discussion. Yeah,
yeah.
please, sir.
Go ahead, please go ahead.
So topic of the discussion will be critical product thinking for building 10x impactful products. Without further ado, I would like to hand over the meeting to Mr. Ankush.
Yeah, thanks, Palak. Hi, good morning, everyone. Uh, s- so it's always a pleasure to talk to people in Pilani. I think my roots started from there only, uh, from my bachelor's course. So I think broadly we'll be talking about. I'm assuming you guys are in first year, second year. So I think some of the areas you always think about. It's a 2-year MBA course. Let's do it. But when you graduate, join the industry either as a startup or in some other company. So there are few other aspects that definitely, if you are thinking about it, you can come as a very strong product leader or a strong leader itself. And I'll share some insights what you should do. And it's nothing new, but it's definitely the way industry is moving. And as you graduate or go towards your second years, or if you're in second year finding your jobs, please make sure you start thinking in that direction, because the next Facebooks, Twitter, WhatsApp, Google, Amazon, everyone today is thinking in direction of uh, how to build very different, unique products. And I will also talk briefly in the end what you should do as you do a reflection towards you'll be finding jobs, how you should look around, and you guys have a very solid background in data analytics, and what are the different areas and opportunities you should pursue. uh, and there's never a right time. It's just a matter of fact that you have to learn the moment you start in the college, the moment you graduate, moment you are in one job, another job. It's a continuous learning. So with that, let me share my screen. Let me know if you guys can see it. uh, do you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so I think I want to keep this session interactive. I know I recall my times at Pilani. It's mostly one-sided, but trust me, this is where you start thinking differently. Think about why you are in this session, and think about what you gain once you leave this session and what you want to do. And if you start thinking about it, a lot of questions will come to your mind, and I want to hear some of them. Will help address, and we can go from there. So I think so in your programs, whether it's bachelor's program or the current programs, a lot of very good pieces are covered from marketing, data analytics, whether it's R language, Python, everything, right? And you learn a lot of fundamental tools about uh, uh, about the basic building blocks of building products, finance, management, technology, and all those things. But the key insight is how you use these recipes to make products which are impactful. And when you say impactful, what does it mean? So that is the first premise, uh, impactful products. And the second thing is how to be 10x more impactful, how you go from impactful to 10x impactful. So this talk is more about that. We'll talk about some of the industry examples, and uh, and we'll go from there. So about me, I'm a Bitchian, as Palak mentioned, 99 A7 PS004. This is one thing you never forget in your life. So I started my career with startups. So I started my first startup. It's a India's first, you can say, ITSI. We ran it for 2 years. We were way early in the game, before Flipkart, before anything. But there was a lot of learnings from my side of things. I learned a lot about a marketplace, how you build a marketplace, and there are certain challenges as I see US market and India challenges, which are very specific to India at that time. We'd never had any internet that time. The phone penetration was very low. We still wanted to make a marketplace like people, merchants posting a very nice pictures and buyers buying through internet. Shipping logistics was not there. What you see today with Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, it was not there that time, but a lot of learnings. Uh, and then we started another startup in area of virtual education. So I think we also have a course in Pilani where you go to these labs and see these instruments. And if you see these instruments, these are not physical instruments. These instruments are on a browser. The startup was done around 2009. So very early, very much funded by Government of India. We built an entire electronic labs, simulated it. The premise was to build a product which you don't have to invest in physical labs, and it's available on everyone's browser. You can do a lot of learning around that, and you don't have to go to a lab. So we built this product for Government of India, and they shipped it to different colleges. Then I had a good amount of experience working with Synopsys. Synopsys is a very different game. So not sure you know about designer automation tools, but I'm pretty sure you guys must be following that every 3 months there is a new iPhone or a Android phone or some other version of the phone, laptop, chip. So uh, so right now everything in the world is designed in a software. Whether any chip, whether it's Apple, Google, Facebook, Nvidia, or anyone else in the world, they use Synopsys tools to build to build their chips. And that's why you have phone in 3 minutes, 3 months, because you now everything is designed in software. So I spent a considerable time at Synopsys. A very solid experience I got uh, in the B2B space. And recently I joined Meta, um, and uh, and a lot of you must be using WhatsApp, Facebook, Messenger, Instagram calling, or remote sharing videos and all the stuff. So I'm part of the team that actually powers that. And if you have seen Mark Zuckerberg talking about metaverse, this is a snapshot of people talking in metaverse. They are wearing their Oculus devices, talking to each other, and hosting actually a virtual meeting. So anything related to audio, video, uh, my team actually powers that platform. So the essence of my journey is, as you start your career, please explore all options, whatever you get. There is a learning in everything. But as you explore options, as you look around, one fundamental you should think about is, what are you trying to solve? Whether you are doing a ekriti.com, Sparsha, or Synopsys, or Meta, please do a reflection. And this reflection only you can do. No one else will do for you. Uh, so I think my experience come from a lot of reflections from these experiences, a lot of consulting work. So we'll talk more in the forward slides to see some of these examples. So a lot of you must be knowing about these logos. These are very popular logos. So uh, so one reflection, if you see this slide, is why these logos are very different from tens and thousands of different companies in the world. What is special about them? And these are not the only four logos. I just picked four so that everyone knows. Apple is known for iPhone, iPads, Mac. Tesla right now is the uh, market leader for electronic self-driving cars. A lot of innovation. Meta, you already know. A lot of you use WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and going forward, Metaverse, Google for maps. But the thing is, why these companies are different? That is a premise question here. What makes them different? So if you think about a iPhone versus an Android phone, uh, what is the difference you guys see out of the box? And everyone, if you look about iPhone is a premium brand against Android. Sure, Google sells Pixel, but if iPhone is being sold for $600, $800, people are buying it. Why? There is one simple reason. It epitomes quality. It epitomes status. It epitomes actually experience, which a lot of time even Android phones cannot compete. I'm not saying they are bad, but the moment you think about Apple, this is what it comes out of it: simple, elegant, to the point, and quality. There is no issues on support, bugs. your phone will not crash. That doesn't mean that Android phones will not crash, are always crashing, but this is way the brand has been built around Apple. If you think about Tesla, similar thing. It's a similar iPhone experience, but in a car. Um, there are a lot of companies in India. There is a Maruti in US, Honda. Then you have Mitsubishi, you have Suzuki. A lot of companies are competing against it. But one company which is just getting out of all the charts in terms of sales is Tesla. Why? Because there is a lot of innovation culture. A lot of competing products are there. Neo is there, and other cars are there. But Tesla stand out for one specific reason. Like iPhone, quality, simplicity, innovation. And if you go to Meta, uh, yes, there are players like TikTok. Definitely, they are very good players. But and before Meta or Facebook, primarily there were Orkut or some other chat solutions. What stands very specific Meta out of other players, Yahoo chat, other chat, uh, is the ability to think what customers will use and keep it simple. And if you go to Google, their flagship product is Google Search. And if you think about a Google search, uh, how difficult it is. Just type in the browser, write something, something comes out. It's not a fancy lot of buttons. It's not like results are, you get, if you're typing about something, you get very different results. The system is automatically learning from a lot of people using machine learning and all that, giving you results. Gmail is a good innovation. Google Maps is an innovation. I still remember the time 99. There were no maps, right? A lot of you have just born with the reflection of maps. And we used to have physical maps or some other types of maps. So I think the point I wanted to bring here is there is something special about these companies. And if you want to be in these companies, you really need to think in a different way, in a different perspective. And it's not like you will just prepare for interviews. Sure, you will prepare for interviews, but the moment you get into the premium crowd in some of these companies, you really need to compete with people who are thinking in very different dimensions about product, what they are building, what is a reflection on what they are building. So I want you to a little bit think from this talk, when you go after this talk, to think about what you want to do differently, so that if you are looking for 2 years ahead, you want to go to a company like Google, Facebook, Tesla, Apple, any premium company, even in India, whatever is in your wish list, how you differentiate yourself as a leader against others. Any questions till now? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Okay, please give me a ping in the between. So, all right. So I think there is a vicious cycle about product, and product is not different from uh, what you have learned: marketing, data, R, Python, and everything. I'm just abstracting all the building. These are like brickstones to build a house. But the moment the house is built, you want to do a branding of. Think about it as like you need all these courses to build a house. But the question here is why you want to build the house. What type of house, right? And let's say now you have, you can do all 15, 20, 30 courses in your career or in your college, certifications. But the point is what you want to do, what you want to build. So these building blocks are there, but if they are not orchestrated in a put in a right way, you might build up a very bad building. So I think when you are thinking about products, you need to think about this flywheel. Uh, Very, very important questions you have to ask everywhere, whether you are doing an assignment, whether you are doing your projects, uh, because it's not like it will come once you start a job. It's not like it will come whether you are making a 10 CGPA. A 10 CGPA guy can be very focused on that building blocks, but may not be a very good product thinker. So we'll talk about some of these things. So I think the first thing is, if you're building a product, the very basic premise is, what is the customer problem? A lot of us jump into startups. A lot of us jump into, oh, this company is coming to campus. Let me max it. It may be 10 lakh salary, 8 lakh salary, whatever numbers. Uh, so I think that is a good approach. But finally, you are building your own house. So if you are building, you should find out what you want to build, right? And if you are in a company, maybe 2 years from the down the line, let's say you are part of a team in Google. The very first thing, because a lot of us goes into execution. Yeah, we have to build this. Let's build it, and let engineering build it. We'll market it, and someone will sell it, right? But that is a thing of the past, because when you have a lot of competition, there has to be something different, and we need to start with, what is the customer problem? Is customer asking for a new phone? Let's say we build Apple's tomorrow builds a foldable phone. Is anyone in the world asking for a foldable phone? And let's say they build the phone for $1,200, maybe around 1.5 lakh. Sure, Apple is a premium company, they can sell anything, but is it the customer problem? Should they build that product? And if would have been a problem, probably Apple would have released a foldable phone maybe years back. Because Samsung released it, Apple has never released such a product. So I'm not saying Apple is good or bad, but I'm just trying to say here is, whatever problem you are trying to think whenever you are building a product, start from the customer. Scope the problem. Let's say tomorrow, let's say you go to an interview or you go to a company, someone tells you, let's build a housing product for Facebook. I mean, sure, you are there as a product manager, or you are there as a leader, in some capacity, maybe a finance, marketing, operational. I think the first question itself is, why Facebook should build a housing problem? Is it really needed? Not needed? There are a lot of people who don't say no, it's not needed. And here is my reasoning. A lot of us, yes, let's build it. Let's do some night outs. Let the product be there. But with all due respect, we build the product. No one used it. It's all waste of time. So I think it's important to have what is the problem and why we should do it. Second important thing is aligning with the mission and goal of the startup or the company. Going back, should Google starts building hospitals in India? Does it align with its mission? Should Facebook start building retail shops in India? Start competing with Geo? Start competing with Reliance Retail? So I think the core thing is, whatever you are building or thinking, is it aligning with the mission of the company or not? If you are an entrepreneur, you know what is the mission. But if you are part of a company, uh, why you have to really think, does it align with the overall mission? A lot of us do a execution at a very bottom level as a junior, fresher, higher. But if you want to be seen as a outstanding leader, you have to really think what you are building, how is it contributing to the goal of the company. And what is the goal of the company? No one knows. I can tell you some examples. Uh, and within a big company, there are different products. They have different goals. So what is the goal for Facebook? There is no one definite goal. If you see their earning reports, uh, there are a lot of multiple businesses in Facebook, Google, Amazon. Let's take some examples. So for Facebook, what is the goal for WhatsApp, Instagram, or Messenger? There is one simple goal: how to keep the users engaged and how to make sure that they are not going away from the platform. Same goes for YouTube also. And if you think around this goal, if you're building anything, that means it aligns with that goal. YouTube will never invest anything to start going in something which is very orthogonal to their mission or goal. If you go to Reality Labs in Meta or Facebook, their mission is to build a technology for metaverse. Oculus, XYZ, forward-looking Ray-Ban stories. Their mission is not to build hardware. Their mission is to build virtual reality, augmented reality. So mission and goal, and what is the goal for Meta is to increase adoption of metaverse for their reality products. What is the goal for Meta for WhatsApp is to keep the engagement going on. So you see that the goals are different, but and the mission and what is the mission of Meta? Meta's mission is to build communities to make sure people create some social value, whether it's metaverse, whether it's Oculus, whether it's WhatsApp. So they are different goals, but they are aligning to the mission of Meta. So when you are thinking about products, uh, you learned what is the customer problem. Uh, you learned whether you are building it with the mission and goal of the company. Third important thing is uh, customer segments and pain points. Sure. Now we know that we know a customer problem. Let's say the problem is short form videos. So what are the pain points? There are multiple ways today. TikTok, my understanding, is banned in India, but if you see Reels is one such product which came up. But think about Meta. When they are building, who is creating the most of the Reels? Is it people who are college students, school students? Is it people who are like 22 to 40 years? Is it people who are age 50 plus? So I think it's important to know the customer and their pain points. When I say pain points, there has to be some pain points, and it goes back to the first point, the customer problem. When I talked about the customer problem, it's a broader problem. Sure, there is on the Facebook platform, there is a need for short form videos. Does it align with Facebook mission? Yes, because the moment people create videos, it creates a lot of engagement, it creates social value. Now the point, if I come to customer segments, I have thinking about building a product, but which segment should I build for? Is it for school kids? Is it for college kids? Is it for working professionals? Is it for business users? Is it for old age people? So I think, and it's important to know who has the critical pain point. So and every segment has a different pain point. The intensity of the pain point is different for different segments. School students, sure, no. Maybe, but may not be. College students, they love short form video. They want to capture moments, share it. And this is one segment which is very, very popular. And what is their pain point? Their pain point is they need all tools, filters, everything to make their videos look good. They are not looking for just recording and sharing it. They can share it today with WhatsApp or something else through email or whatever. They are looking for a lot of filters, songs, and that's why some of these platforms like YouTube short videos, TikTok, Facebook Reels are very, very popular. Uh, so I think it's important to know where to focus. And a lot of your courses, like in the marketing, there is a clear thing on segmentation. I'm just borrowing some concepts from there. But I want to emphasize more than segmentation is to focus on what is the pain point of that segment. In typical example, let's take Reels. So if you are opening your Facebook app, a lot of things come up. Do you get the Reels you really like? If you're creating a reel, are you getting all the tools to create the reels? Or TikTok videos, are you getting all the tools? So these are some of the pain points around which products and features are built. And whoever solves this problem has a capacity to lead the market, like some of the players I talked in the previous slide. And let's move forward. So I think the next obvious thing is solution. But the point is, what is the differentiation we are bringing? Sure, I'm creating a short form video. There are a lot of recording solutions, but what is the differentiation you're bringing? If you're posting it on YouTube, you are able to upload the video and send it to millions of users, maybe billions of users. If you are doing through Instagram, you are able to send it to your friends. But if you are sending it through email, probably you have to copy every damn guy to send it. So what is the differentiation you are bringing in terms of technology, in terms of user experience, in terms of uh, aha factor? And if you think about iPhone, it's aha factor. And iPhone's camera may not be the best camera, but the combination of all the things makes it a differentiated product against all the things. The last important piece is the how users will use it. We talked about all the things. We know a lot of time we are very good in the previous 4 stages. We are very good in knowing what are the solutions. But when we really build it, it's very crappy product. Think about Microsoft Word. Okay, all of us use it. Good thing is we are very used to it. Bad thing is if you go to the menus of Microsoft Word, you'll find that it has close to 800 plus options, right? While you go to iPhone, when iPhone was launched, everyone said it will not be successful because what it was doing is it was breaking the way people use the phones. Because before iPhone, it was BlackBerry, and BlackBerry was like your mini computer keyboard. But when iPhone came, it just wiped out everything in the market. BlackBerry lost its market share like anything. And one reason was UI, UX, the way it was presented, the way customer will use it was revolutionary. So while you are presenting this part, a lot of people, a lot of startups, a lot of managers, a lot of leaders miss out. Now your product UI is great. The other pieces are how good is your support. If you are getting a lot of support tickets, that means your product is crappy. If your product does not have a documentation, people will call you left, right, everything. So I think you use a lot of products. So think about it, and you will understand the point where you have to call a customer care 100 times, and where you see that if you're looking for something, it's already available in the help or support or automated chat or something. And you will say that you yourself will start feeling that the experience is good, right? So I think just to summarize, I think the point I wanted to say is everyone thinks about that building blocks again, but this flywheel of product thinking around a problem, whether you are a leader, whether you are an entrepreneur, or whether you are doing any project in college, maybe you are doing something very unique, and a lot of startups through BITS came out of this thinking because they are solving a problem. If you see Postman, recently few others got funding. There was a startup we saw recently in a pitch in BITS Park, Nosh. What are they trying to do? They are trying to create a machine which can cook sabjis, and they want to market in US. So no one thought about it, and they are right now doing this flywheel. They are trying to find their segments where they don't want to sell it in the entire world. They really want to send it in the areas where people can afford, where people can buy, and there is a problem. Let's say we sell this machine to, let's say every one of you take that machine to your home. Do you think your mom and dad will use it? Your mom will use it. My mom will not use it for sure because they know how they love cooking, or it's part of their life. But think about a professional family in Bangalore, where both husband and wife are working, they have kids. They would love to use it, right? So that's where you start thinking about who are your customers, and uh, why should I buy this machine? Let's say this company is selling this machine for $300. My first experience is it's expensive. My second question is, what will happen if something happens to this machine? What should I do? Do they have any support? Do they have any documentation? Though this machine claims that it has a lot of AI robotics. I mean, these are all terms in the background. But for a customer like me, what does it mean that am I getting the right support? Is it easy to use? If I have to do a lot of work to just set up the machine, better let me cook it, right? So I hope you are getting the point. I think this is the key basic thinking, and that's why uh, some of these companies like Apple, Google, Tesla is exactly the way they work. Whether it's a small feature, whether you see a like button, you see reactions, whether you see reels, this is a thought process that works around building these products. And a lot of building blocks are inside are being used, because if you don't know a marketing concept, if you don't know about data analytics, and I'll talk about why data will come in next slide, but all of your learning will be used, but just abstracting it out to build a flywheel, apply it, will be amazing. And if you are able to apply it, you can really create impactful products. When I say impactful, it is definitely changing something in someone's life, solving a pain point, because you have done the exercise of finding that pain point earlier. Now when you delivered it with one of the best UI support documentation, I'm pretty sure you are going to nail that pain point, and that will be a sticky product. Any questions till now?
Yeah, Ankush, there is a question in the chat that a student is asking, because the tech products have a very small product life cycle. They wade off very quickly. Like every year, iPhone is coming with the new versions. 13, 14 is already announced. So he's interested in, is there a way to have a sustained differentiation or for a long term for the tech products?
Uh, sure. So sorry, when I present, I don't see the chat. If there is something comes up, please do let me know. So I think if I understand the question, so I think the question is, tech products have short cycles. So answer first part is yes and no. Sure, products like Apple, but think about let's take example of iPhone, right? So iPhone started with $500, went to $800. Then the premium one today is sold at $1,300. And then there are some light versions which are sold at $500 in US. And irony is, every new version they are able to sell more iPhones. And this is the data I'm not just telling. You can verify it based on their revenue reports. And it's not like they are going into more and more markets. Like they are trying to go to cut the Android market. Apple has not positioned itself as a competitor to Android. The market share worldwide is less than Android phones, but wherever they sell it with premium, and they are able to sell more. So if you look behind this, what is the science? So there are few things. Apple was my customer last in my previous job. So there is a few things that comes to my mind, and I can talk about that, is a sustained differentiation in every new version of iPhone comes with a very industry cutting differentiation. And I can vouch about some of these things. The face recognition technology was not there in the first, second, third version of iPhone. The payments, the iOS upgrades, privacy settings, the camera. Initially, it came with a very low camera. Currently, you don't need to buy SLR unless you are a professional photographer. So every version, there is a combination of hardware and software thing that creates value over it. So this is one part on the technical value. The second part is the operational value. If you think about it, iPhone is sold for $600 in US. Imagine that Apple is working on operational excellence also to make sure that it reduces the input costs. With every version, they are trying to optimize their supply chain. And if I remember correctly, some of the posts stated that every iPhone sold for $600 is actually around $250 to $300. So what does it mean? So they are differentiating on technology and optimizing on the supply chain, and the net value they are creating for their shareholders is huge. Second thing is the ecosystem. In US, more majority of I will say that it's like 50-50 market for Android and iPhones. In India, it's like maybe 20% iPhones, 80% Android. Apple has made clear that it will not sell any iPhone for $100, $200. And that's why you see that bucket in the first slide. It's a premium product. Quality differentiation, quality differentiation. And you will not find any issues with Apple iPhone. The way they test is very different from the phone you get from Chinese manufacturers. And a lot of you, if you use the iPhone and a Chinese phone, you can see that. So the second part is short life cycles. Sure, some of the things, let's say you have to put a button on Facebook, like button, change the color. And trust me, for a company like Facebook, you cannot change the color like that. Though it seems very simple to you, but if you are a company which is being used by 3+ billion customers, and 3+ billion is a big number, and tomorrow I change this like button like this to like button like this, a lot of people will have reactions. So the cycle is similar, but and the thinking is similar, because you cannot randomly change it. Still need to know, why should I change the icon from here to here? And if I have to change it, what is the pain point? What I'm trying to solve? Because a team in Facebook is not given a salary to just create an icon from here to here. It still goes through the same flywheel cycle. Maybe some of the stages may be less intense, but it's pretty much. And you will, as you start applying this, you will think about that. You are a logical thinker in every small thing you are doing. I hope that answers the question. Any other question?
Sir, I have a question.
Please go ahead.
Sir, like when we're talking about Apple, so Steve Jobs had this very clear product thinking that there would only be a black and a white iPhone, and they would not have a lot of variants. It would be kept simple. So that was their mantra. And then suddenly, when Tim Cook took over, they suddenly have 6, 7 colors every year. They're launching a different color. So how is that change in product thinking managed in such a large company?
Sure. I think it's a great question. Thanks for bringing. So I think it goes back to customer segments. So think about it. As you, all of you said, some of you said like there is an iPhone after every 3 months. So what is the differentiation? If I'm giving a color choice, what is it bringing to me as a customer? It's giving me options. If I'm a probably I like blue color, someone is offering me a blue color with a better camera, and I have money. That is my next step to buy a new phone. So I think a lot of things when Steve Jobs started was the basic building what iPhone, because no one imagined what iPhone will be. But as you evolve this wheel, and I will talk about in next few slides, you will realize that a lot of you, as you get involved more and more, especially with customers, you will see that they have different preferences, because now you are connecting with the customers, you're knowing their preferences. And again, this flywheel comes back to see that maybe you have sold the white and black iPhones. Now you are getting a request for people who are demanding that custom iPhones. And if it is a huge segment, there's a potential to sell. There is a problem to be solved that it makes them happy. Why not? Any other questions?
No, Ankush, we can go
Okay,
ahead.
so I think this flywheel, if you think about it, it's about thinking. I think the other important aspect is now a iPhone, maybe Oculus, virtual reality, whatever, Google Maps. Let's pick one product. Um so let's pick, since we are talking about iPhone, let's pick iPhone. Uh, so a lot of us don't measure what the success will look like, right? Like the question was, should we give 6 color iPhones? Sure, let's build it. It's just a matter of changing the color. But why and why we should do it? The important question is, how does the success looks like? I should not land up in a situation that I'm still selling white and black iPhones, not red, blue, yellow, whatever. Uh, so, so it's important to pre-think while you are thinking about this problem. How does the success looks like? So, so it comes in different phases of thinking, and some of these concepts you might have heard in marketing, sales, but this is just a framework I will talk about. Now, let's say I have released 4 colors of iPhone. Apple has done a announcement in some conference. So, as an end user, how do you know that these 4 iPhones are there? Is it coming every day in some ad? Is there any banner about that? So I think the first problem for any product is awareness and acquisition. When I say awareness, are you as a customer, is my customer aware about what has been built, or how he will be aware about that, right? And a lot of marketing terms like CPA, CPM, uh, why you think marketing people spend a lot of time, money on CPM, cost per milli? You open your Gmail, you open your Google, there are some impressions of things. Let's say you are searching about Reebok shoes. You see a lot of ads about Reebok shoes. You don't click, sure, it's a loss for marketing guy. Uh, but what is it you are seeing? The more you see, the more you are building in your forehead that there is something called Reebok shoes. The more you see a blue color iPhone, you're not clicked, you're not bought, but in your inside, you are thinking about yes, there is a blue iPhone that exists, and you start building a preference around things. So I think so awareness is how many people know you, and there are a lot of metrics around this. A lot, some of it are applicable to some products, some may not be. The second thing is how many people have activated that service. So think about it. In the case of activation, I did a lot of marketing to sell you a credit card, and my team built a lot of product thinking uh, to build that fancy credit card with 3% discount, 5% discount on something, some very, very special offers. The customer is excited, he's aware, he bought it. Now the card is sitting somewhere in his wallet or maybe in his bag, not even activated for months. What is the point of selling that card? In this case, the card company will make offer if the card is activated. Whatever money they have got, they spend to acquire the customer. Whatever money they have spent to build that card, ship him, create an account, everything is a sunk cost. So activation is an important phase, and you can think about activation. It applies to pretty much every product, every service, whether it's a B2B service, B2C service, and pretty much if you have opened an account in Facebook, you have opened an account in Gmail, you are not using it. So who is worried more about it? You are not worried, but the guy who has built the product is worried, and they are definitely doing something to nudge you. Like you will get an alert from maybe from Google saying that, oh, we are giving you 20 GB free email just to entice you to log in. I think the third important thing is how people are engaged on your products. Sure, credit card is done, it's activated. How many times you are using the credit card? How much transactions? What is the frequency? Are you using any other credit cards? If yes, why not my credit card for all the transactions? Right? And if you're thinking about paying anything in cash, why not use my credit card? Right? So if you're thinking about Meta, Google, YouTube, TikTok, what are they worried about? They're worried about daily active users, monthly active users. The more users they have, it's a more bigger billboard to show more ads. So their struggle is to get more users, go to more surfaces, go to more countries. So this is how the engagement looks like for them. Now the other important aspect is I have engaged. Facebook has 3 billion users, YouTube has 2 billion users. Am I able to retain them? Do they come to the website every 7 days, 30 days, 6 months, 3 months? So retention is an important problem. And a lot of times you get some alerts. Let's say you have Spotify or Netflix or something like that. They want you to come to the platform and use it. Otherwise, you will cancel the service or you will log out, you will do something. So this is one other area. It's very important for these companies, and they build a lot of metrics to track what you are doing, how you are doing. Nothing is free. So sure, startups bleed a lot of money in first 5 phases. A lot of services like Instagram started with billions of users, became an acquisition target for Meta without monetizing. WhatsApp, as of today, is even not monetized, but you cannot sustain for long. So monetization becomes an important metrics. Think about that. Facebook is a free service or YouTube is a free service. Will they be able to sustain such a big engineering force, product force, a lot of employees? Where is this money coming from? They have to earn some money to do more innovation or to keep them sustainable, right? So monetization is an important aspect. A lot of things come here is how much money you are making, uh, how much money you are burning, what is the actual profit, which geography. So if you drill down more on this as you become an international company, so you can really think that you can go into a country-wise analysis. And yeah, the last important piece which is emerging right now is a new section of segment is called where you have some other things like integrity, fraud. Like Meta is very, very cautious about integrity. People thinking about Meta, their data is leaked. Credit card companies are thinking about fraud transactions. Even all these companies like Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, they are also thinking about fraud accounts, someone hacking, representing someone. Privacy is another area. So I think the point I wanted to make here is so you build the product in the previous site. I really want you to think about some of these dimensions as you are building the product, because it's not just like product is built, done. You really have to think, how do you measure the success? Because you as a leader are going to customers, to business people, to marketing, sales, engineering, telling them these are the different dimensions in which we have to measure our success, right? And I would highly encourage all of you to pick your favorite company if they are listed, open their earning calls, and let's say think about Google or Facebook. These are public companies listed in US. You just Google them, their earning call. Meta had an earning call 2 days back. Uh, so just go through the earning statement and you will see how they measure their quarter success. A lot of things you will see what I'm telling about: daily active users, retention, monetization, average revenue per user, and what are the challenges that you will hear a lot about them. So keep this thing in insight, and please make sure that you are thinking about that. Any questions here?
Hello,
Yes.
Ankush. I have a question.
Yeah.
I Thanks for the great presentation. I have a question. I would like to know, like, how to think like a someone who is working in a Google or someone who is working in an Apple. How to align your frequency with those guys.
Great question. So I think if you see this slide and the previous slide, if you start
Mhm.
thinking on this direction, you are almost there.
Okay.
Because if a product is built in these companies, it is
Mm.
thought through in these dimensions. It's
Okay.
not like something will come out randomly and is thrown to users. And these companies are successful because they are thinking a lot about customer. They are doing a
Mhm.
lot of right stuff to build like UX, customer pain points. They exactly know what to build for whom, because they are doing a lot of homework on that. And once they know what to build, they also know how to measure its success. Like someone asked, right? Apple knows how to grow its users, and their earning calls, their revenue is increasing quarter by quarter, reflects that they are measuring what they are delivering. Meta, if you open Meta's earning call, you will see they are measuring the number of users, because that is what that matters to them, right? So I think if you want to align with any Google, Facebook, anyone, please see what type of products they are building, what type of problems they are solving. And some of these approaches you will see very, very common in their interviews, in their product discussions, and in what they are building. The terminology will look very similar. I hope it answered your question.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, Ankush.
Okay. So let's move on. So I think we talked about metrics, right? All of you are in a data analytics course. So I think one spectrum you guys are thinking about is R, Python, making a lot of sense about data, right? Which is very, very important. And it goes back to my comment that it's a fundamental block. But the question is, what data you should extract, right? So there is a very popular concept in some of these next generation companies is something called as a North Star matrix. I'm not sure whether you guys have heard about it, and the concept goes like this. So there is a leader who is defining what is one matrix where will all focus on. And immediate thought is, how can you have one matrix where everyone can focus, right? Engineering will focus about crashes, marketing will think about sales. So, but it happens in these companies, and it's amazing. So I'll talk about some of these examples. So we will take a few examples here. So let's talk about Facebook. Facebook, maybe Airbnb and Uber. So I think Facebook, think about it. What does Facebook care about? So if I say that Facebook cares about monthly active users, sure, it is one metrics where Facebook app should focus on. This is the North Star metrics for Facebook app. I'm not talking about WhatsApp and other things because Facebook is a multi app business. But let's say very focused on the Facebook.com. And let's say Mark Zuckerberg says that monthly active users is one such metrics and everyone should focus on. So you might be thinking that in the previous slide, we talked about different types of metrics in different stages. Why now we are talking about one metrics? One metrics is the sort of a vision that this is something that has to move up. And now to move it up, you need a lot of auxiliary metrics or counter metrics or some other types of metrics, because monthly active users will go up. And if I go back to my previous slide, you need people, you need to track awareness, acquisition, activation, monetization, everything. So different teams are tracking different things, but as a company, there is one North Star metrics, that is monthly active users. If I talk about Airbnb, so what is very interesting about Airbnb is you can talk about time spent on the app, number of users, but one thing that matters to Airbnb is the number of booked nights. If that is increasing, that means company is growing. And if you break that metrics, number of nights means the number of users must be increasing, or the number of nights existing users are booking must be increasing, right? If you drill down further in the number of users, maybe users are increasing in an existing country, or we are expanding in more countries. If you think about number of nights, maybe people are they have more spending power. Maybe we are doing better marketing. Maybe we are providing a better deals. So as you drill down, you will see that you will still have to think about the previous slide metrics. But as a company, this concept of North Star metrics, and sometimes this North Star metrics is also defined for a lot of for different products in the companies. Uber, let's take an example of Uber, right? What matters most to Ubers? Is it the number of drivers? Is it number of users? Both are important. And if I have to choose one matrix, what makes sense for me? Because and in this case, their North Star is writes per week. And if you drill down, writes per week, if it is increasing, then that means the number of drivers are automatically increasing and number of users are also increasing. If number of users are increasing, you are probably doing more awareness, more people are installing Uber apps, or existing people are spending more. If you think about drivers, number of drivers are increasing, that means number of users are increasing because drivers are getting more business. So if I take all bottom level metrics, abstract it up, there is one single metrics which binds everything. Though it's not the perfect 100%, but it binds. So this is another terminology you should Google and think about. Does it make sense? Because you guys are thinking a lot about analytics. I want you to think and tie it to sure, we are extracting the data. We are doing our projects in R, Python, or any other language. But what is the key metrics? What are we inferring out of it for what we are building? Does it make sense? Any questions here? And if you guys have time, please do think over it. Note this terminology of North Star. It's very interesting. More you think about it, you will get more insights. All right. So I think so three important concepts. One is product thinking, the flywheel cycle. Second is how to measure the success. And third is as a leader, you have to position what is a North Star metrics. And it's not for companies, it's for projects also. And if you are able to think in that direction, pretty much you are thinking about how these big companies like Apple, Google, Facebook are thinking. And you can build products which are 10x in impact. Because when we say 10x in impact, how do we measure it? It has to be through metrics. It has to be through that thought process of going from acquisition to activation to monetization to engagement to to finding out other key areas where we should be worried about. So I think just to summarize, this is a summary of the goal. So I think start with the user. What are the type of problems they are having? Then define whether now you know the users, you know the problem, you know what jobs to be done. So you have to build a strategy. A strategy is very important and it's sometimes very abstract. Sometimes we think about, oh yeah, we have to launch this iPhone. But let's say the iPhone is launched. If you don't have iTunes, if you don't have a credit card ecosystem, if you don't have ability to build apps over that, if you don't have developers who are writing apps, so then iPhone will be dead next year. Because sure, I bought it, but what is sure, it's a calling device, it's a texting device, it's a sleek piece of device, very good customization. But what is the value I'm getting in a sustained way? Am I getting everything? Can I flick my photos? Do I do all the apps are there? All the premium apps are there, and is iPhone vetting? Is Apple vetting all the apps before they throw to me? Will I install a app which will put a virus on my phone? You will see all these things. These are some of the strategy pieces. Don't come later once you build the product. They come upfront. You are thinking about 1 year strategy, 6 months, 1 year. You're also thinking about where we should be going. You're not building now, but you are definitely thinking that thought. And I think once you have that framework, once you have that thought process, the interesting thing is what is the output, right? What are the goals we will achieve? How do we measure them? Like, I can give you two examples. Let's say I come to you and say that let's improve WhatsApp. Now the question here is why should we improve the WhatsApp and for whom? Is the if I go to a Facebook sales guy, WhatsApp sales guy, probably he'll say that, oh, let's monetize this product. He has a different goal. If I go to a normal user, let's say my grandparents, they have a different pain point or they have a different goal. Like WhatsApp needs to be improved for, let's say, use accessibility. Some people cannot hear, some people don't see properly. Maybe there is a some sort of a voice option or some. If I go to a user like you and me, maybe we want more fancy features, right? So if you see that everyone has a different goal, right? So it's important to fix that while we are fixing the first part, and we to tie it to some metrics we will measure. And this cycle typically does not go like this. And a lot of these companies, the companies I talked about, it goes like this because they find out the next generation problems as they measure, build from the success of what they deliver and their forward strategy. So if you're thinking about iPhone, you will never know your iPhone will work with a virtual reality set, AR, VR set. There must be something Apple is thinking about. There must be something Google is thinking about. And they are getting a continuous feedback from how users are using their products today. And they get that feedback only if they are able to measure it with very well defined metrics. So it's a cycle. If you measure something, you find that there is a need here, you go back and define the problem, again build a product or feature. So this is the flywheel, complete flywheel, how it works, uh, combining all the three pieces I talked about. So any questions here? So I think this pretty much come back to the point. Uh, what makes them different again? I started with this slide, and I'm coming back. So just a combination of these three slides I talked about, a very abstract framework. More details, definitely you can Google or reach out to me. But if you start thinking in this direction, probably you're thinking in a right direction if you want to go to some of these companies in your career. If you want to build as an entrepreneur, if you want to do something in your life very differently, and you want to measure what it exactly means, and that's make these companies very, very, very different from rest of the old traditional companies. These companies move very fast. Everyone is thinking in this framework. They know, they drill down a lot. They spend a lot of time in finding out the problem, building a flywheel, executing that flywheel. And once they know what they have to build, they build it, and they also tie it to how do we measure the success for it. This entire cycle gives them more ideas to build more products. And if you think about uh, some of the key innovations like Tesla going into full self-driving car in US, it's not like Tesla is doing automatically. It's a vicious cycle that Tesla released incremental features, hardware, and did a lot of recording of the highways, a lot of new technologies in terms of machine learning, computer vision. They build expertise to a stage that they can say that now the car can drive itself. Same goes for Waymo. If you think about virtual reality, metaverse, it's not like it came out of the box. People felt that there is a need, or maybe there is a opportunity to go in metaverse. People talking to different worlds. That's why some of these devices like Oculus, Horizon app are pretty popular. It didn't come like it didn't came up like out of the box. Someone thought it and let people started executing it. So I think this concludes at least the core part of my presentation. Few topics I wanted you to think about it. These are some of the industry trends. As you look forward to your career, uh, please think about it. At least they should not be a jargons. Feel free to go and Google, watch some cool videos, what others are doing. A lot of people don't know about augmented virtual reality, self-driving cars, short videos. I'm pretty sure you guys know about short videos, reels, and all that stuff. But what is metaverse? So I think these are the trends where industry is trending. For next 5 years, 10 years, a lot of cool technologies are building. And these are not the only ones. These are few trends I have listed for. But whatever is the area you are going, you have your building blocks in your kitty, but make sure that you're spending time to see what is happening in this, like virtual reality, what is happening, what are the startups in India, what are the big companies in India, US are doing. And it's just Google. You will see a lot of cool videos. So I would highly encourage you guys to do that. And these are few my favorite. If you are looking for to know more about it, definitely go around it. There's a blog I posted, strashry.com. Uh, so it's very popular, very good analysis of what is happening in the world. And if you want to know what different companies are doing, these are just few things. A lot of resources are available. And there is something called as Google News or alerts. So let's say you are very, very passionate about virtual reality. You can go to Google and say that create a alert for this search. So what it does is it sends you a email on your inbox on that topic every day instead of you doing. And if you go back to that product thinking cycle, see, Google found that people are searching again and again, and they created this alert feature. So the more you think about it, you will realize that actually uh, it's very, very beneficial, and you can create really, really impactful products. So I think that's pretty much. One other thing I would encourage you guys, since you guys are in data analytics, there are a few different segments of jobs you should look around uh, in the industry, especially in these companies. One is as a data science manager, one is a data analytics manager, third is a product manager, and definitely operations and other traditional things are always there. If you're looking to go into the career of these companies, start building now. Go to their website, look for what type of interviews they ask for, what type of um, questions they have, what type of thinking they are doing, what type of products they are doing. Reach out to people who have joined from BITS in these companies, talk to them, understand their perspective. So along with your building blocks, which are very, very important, you need to start thinking in these dimensions. That's all I had. I can take few questions.
Sir, I had a question. So, with the Web3 coming up, how do you think giants like Google and Meta specifically cope up with the disruption caused in internet economy in specific?
Yeah, so I cannot disclose specifics, but I can tell you Web3 is a technology, uh, uh, blockchain, and other things. A lot of this industry leaders like Facebook, Google, Apple, and even the banking companies like Citibank, uh, who are like in traditional banking, Morgan Stanley, a lot of folks, Bank of America. So it's not like they are not investing. They are spending billions of dollars to make sure that they are not left behind. So the trend is reverse. So they are also contributing. That's why some of these things like OpenSea, NFTs, it's not like these companies are not doing. These companies are also doing, but they are going through their cycle. They cannot. They see. Think about Facebook releasing a something for minting NFTs, and that product does not work. So it impacts Facebook another 3 billion users. Same goes for Google. So I think these companies are also investing a lot. It's not like, and they are one of the leaders in this technology. I can tell you that.
So, Ankush, I also want to ask in the same lines that this, when you said, right, this is not getting monetized by the firm. So, when the Web3 and the blockchain will be applied, the customer's data, because we say that the customer, when customer is the product, when something is you're getting for free. If you're getting something for free, then customer is the product. So when the data is not being shared with the company, then the advertising revenue that is going to come, it may be get hampered. So can there be something a way around it?
No, your question is Web3 will disrupt this or not disrupt this, something like that?
It will disrupt it, right? Because Facebook and all bank on data, because the customer, they log in and they make their activities. That all the advertising and targeting that happens is based on the actions. So right now, what a theoretical understanding I have, the customer will have the control on the data, what to share, what not to share. In that
Sure.
case, what will
Yeah, so I think there are different dimensions to it. If you think about WhatsApp today, correct? WhatsApp today is not monetizing anything. You don't see any ad in your WhatsApp, right? And if you think tomorrow Web3, someone will come and start doing this, leave Web3, Telegram came as a opposition to WhatsApp, right? Sure, it captured, but it's very hard to get people sticky to change their things unless it's a very disruptive technology. For an end user like you, me, what does Web3 mean? Will you start changing your app for communication? Right? It's someone will say that, oh, you can talk to your friend. Now the underlying technology is Web3. Will you change the WhatsApp to that app? Because you have built a lot of ecosystem, you have built friends, you have built communities. People know you that you are connected, and it's not only that you will move. If you move and your ecosystem does not move, then that is something Telegram tried to do, right? What they did is, and I personally faced it. Some of our friends moved to Telegram, some stayed on WhatsApp. So I think the way these companies have built cycles, whether it's Amazon, Flipkart, WhatsApp, Web3 is a disruptor in the bottom line technology, the underlying technology, but it's not going to, and there are definitely disruption use cases, like it's good to be seen, still in trial, like I can send you money, but sure, it's a good technology, I can send you money, but that can be used for Hawala also, right? So right now there is a regulation, people can target where the money is moving around. If tomorrow everything is encrypted with Web3 blockchain, so there will be other set of challenges. So this field is emerging. A lot of work is being done. Like if you see NFTs are being minted and being sold, no one really knows how to use that GIFs which we are buying at OpenSea or something like this, Bored Apes and all that stuff. But if you see Bored Apes, very, very specific, I'm talking about, very premium, sold for millions of dollars. They have built a entire ecosystem of accessories, clubs, and everything. If you have a Bored Ape GIF and you are a member of a certain club, you are privileged to do certain things. So they have built a lot of ecosystems around it. So this area is certainly emerging. There can be disruptions, as you are saying, but I still feel that these current companies have built a lot of ecosystem around it. If the ecosystem moves tomorrow to something entirely, sure, this disruption is possible. But to be seen.
Okay, thank you for the response. So is there any other questions, other participants?
Sir, I have a question. Sir, in product thinking, if a company has an option of developing a product which solves an existing problem,
versus developing a product which would solve a problem which exists, but people are unaware about that problem. So which one should it go with?
So that's an interesting question, and so I think it depends on the size of the company, money they have. I'll give you the case for Meta, not because I work there, or Google. So Meta, if you see, there is something called as family of apps, WhatsApp and all that. Meta is in a situation that it has to solve both the worlds. It has to keep its existing business growing, like WhatsApp, family of apps, and it feels that uh, it has to be a leader in metaverse. They know that there is a problem, but it does not affect people today, right? So, but to build this, you need to do this. So this is part of their strategy, that they will do this best to make this best. Because tomorrow, if this works, they are going to be the leaders in this space. Same goes for Google. Google is or Microsoft, they are creating products like HoloLens or AR glasses or something like that. These are future technologies. Let's say they sell it for $1,000. You and I will not buy it, but they have to innovate, build for a future stack also. But there are companies who are very budget sensitive, like startups. They are in the problem which you want to solve today. Like OpenSea is all about minting the problem. Coinbase is about cryptocurrencies. So they are definitely, now they become crash rich and public. They start solving the other set of problems. But as a startup, you are really focused on the first part. And as a big company, you are thinking about both the parts.
Understood, sir.
All right. Any other questions?
So, sir, can you give us some insights like how Meta is approaching metaverse and how it's different from, from other players?
Sure. So I think my comments are my personal comments, nothing to do with Meta. So I think I see that uh, so there are different approaches. There is a decentralized land. Uh, they are thinking that let's keep it open like Web3. Let's keep it all open like a open source Linux. And the way Meta is thinking is build experiences. The good thing about Facebook is it knows how to build experiences, social conversations, how you and I talk, how we react, how we share. It knows what matters to people, and they are trying to, and they have a good. For you to be in metaverse, you need a device. Our metaverse, as of today, does not work on phones. You need to a device like Oculus or a VR headset. So they are building on their own ecosystem where they want to be like iPhones, like Apple for iPhones. They want to be like known for Oculus for metaverse. So they want to, and they're investing a lot to build that stack. Like Apple established itself for iPhones, they want to be known for metaverse, wearing device and experiences. A lot of companies are doing this, but this area is still unknown. No one knows. It's 3 years, 5 years. Requires a device as of today. Tomorrow things might change. Your phones, devices might have different experiences. No one knows that. So a lot of investment is required. So definitely, I would say that it's experimental, but it's an interesting era to go. Has any one of you tried a Oculus headset?
Yes, once.
Okay. So I think the experience you will see is like you are inside that world. Like if you are in a, let's say, you're playing a game, it's not like you are just outside the game. It looks like you are moving inside that house. You are riding that cycle or whatever game you are playing. sword games or any game. So experience is very, very different.
Got it, sir. Thanks.
Okay, so Palak, we can move to the winding of the session.
Thank you, sir, for such an insightful session. I would now like to invite Achin, sir, to give vote of thanks.
So Ankush, I'm very thankful for you to taking time at this point of time because it's almost, I guess, a midnight at your part of the world. But the insights were truly great learning for me, personal learning, and I hope all the students of the BITS who have joined here would have learned. You're in the tech, how the techs are great techs to it. You have given them an insight that when they are also doing their own startups, because BITS has such a strong startup culture. So this will help them as well. So by this time, at this point, I will request also the team member to share the certificate that we have prepared as a token of your appreciation. So we will be sending you the certificate also by email. And I thank you for your time. So Palak, back to you.
Sir, here's a small token of appreciation and thanking you for taking out your time from the busy schedule and delivering such a knowledgeable session. With all these indispensable insights, we move to end of today's webinar. Thank you again. Thank you everyone for attending this session. We hope to get a chance to hear from you again in future.
Sure. Thank you, everyone, and best of luck for your future things. And I hope to see some startups, some good products, impactful products from going forward. All right. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.